Pan! I hope you're here, because I don't know where else to look for you.
Muy buenas.
Of course I'm here, Grace. Where else would I be but amongst the trees and the wild things? I really must thank you, by the by. Asterion is simply over the moon, and he's already repaid me with this select tome from the reliquary.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Que es que no he saludado porque el juego ha empezado tal cual en la escena y le he dado a grabar para que podáis tener esto en YouTube. Bienvenidos, bienvenidas, bienvenides al cuarto gameplay. Vamos a intentar terminar el acto 2. Ya fuimos a lo del relicario. Bueno, en el pasado estuvimos con lo de Afrodita, fuimos al relicario, estuvimos con Hécate y el Minotauro y ahora estamos aquí de vuelta. Me usaste. De nada. ¿Querías un libro?
That's why you did all this? Because you wanted some book?
Not just some book, but a tome from the forbidden depths.
I doubt Hecate would be pleased.
Oh, most assuredly not. Neither would Athena, which makes it all the more delicious. I trust you got what you needed. More grist for the mill of your innocence, as it were.
Vale. ¿Sabías que lo haría? Deja de jugar conmigo. Bueno, a ver, claro, obviamente, si pudimos... O sea, le debíamos un favor a Pan, pero el Minotauro también, o sea, le debía a Pan, ¿no? Si le ayudaba al Minotauro con el romance con Hécate, que para eso nos usó, pues a cambio le tenía que dar algo, que es el libro este, ¿no? Al final es una cadena de favores. En fin. Como no puedo elegir otra cosa, pues aprendí
It's
mucho.
quite the coincidence. The place you sent me just happens to be the place Calliope was attacked.
That is quite the coincidence. You must be very grateful.
It's just hard to trust a coincidence that big.
You have no reason to be suspicious. I know nothing of what happened to Calliope at the reliquary. I suppose the question at the heart of this is, do you believe me?
No le voy a romancear. Pero creo que sí. Eso intento.
I'm trying to, Pan, but you make this really hard.
Ah, yes. Doubt. What a fascinating concept, and an excellent reason to hesitate. Alas, it is my burden to be forever condemned by my idle brethren. I've become accustomed to it. Truly. I've never lied to you, Grace, and I never shall. If you're looking for innocence, however, well, I'm afraid that's one thing I cannot provide.
And if I can't accept that? If I find out you're somehow involved in this?
You'll do what you do, and I'll do what I do, and we'll see where that takes us.
Aún necesito ayuda. Bueno, me voy. Eres lo peor. Aún necesito ayuda.
If you're still up for trading favors, I could use more help.
Oh, of course you could. If I can make a suggestion, live the high life. Throw caution to the wind.
That's your suggestion?
And why not? It's the same as when I first met you, Grace. You can enjoy being an idol. Simply follow my lead.
No, gracias. ¿Por qué no? Vale, esto es decisivo. No, pero no quiero romancearte a ti. No me jodas. Quiero romancear a Freddy. No, gracias.
Answer's the same as the first time. No thanks.
Can you blame me for trying? Come, dance with me, Grace. One more time before you,
Before I die? You don't have any hope for me, do you? You're just taking what you can get before it's over.
You'll want to find Medusa, I suppose.
Yeah, her name keeps coming up.
You'll find Medusa at a dingy little club appropriately named the Viper's Nest. Give her my regards. But do be careful if you call on her, Grace. Medusa is a hideous monster. and should be treated as such.
Vale. ¿Vamos directamente con Medusa? ¿O hablamos primero con Perséfone? Día 5. A ver. Ese 5. Esa C. No está cerca de la Q, ¿verdad? Yo creo que los problemas de traducción de este juego es porque han sido hechas por una persona que no es nativa español. Y por eso se le han colado algunas cosas. Es que si no, no entiendo yo. A ver, bueno, en fin. Es que ya si eso, cuando terminemos de este directo, haré una captura de esto y intentaré pasárselo a las devs a ver si pueden arreglarlo. Vale, guarida de Medusa o con Perséfone. No sería mejor primero con Medusa. Pero es que Medusa me da la espina que va a ser lo último que vamos a hacer aquí. Vamos primero con Perséfone.
Back from your visit to the reliquary?
How did you know I was there?
Athena was ranting about it when I left her. She's none too pleased about you breaking the rules. Let's hope what you learned was worth it. Medusa was at the reliquary that night. You don't intend to confront her directly, do you?
¿Te parece que no debería? Todavía no lo sé.
You think I shouldn't? How else will I find out why she was there?
There's always a way, Grace. Asking someone directly isn't the only method. Still, while I hate to say it, confronting Medusa may be your best option.
You could come with me when I talk to her.
Trust me, if I'm anywhere within a mile, she'll have vanished by the time you so much as knock on her door. Just lie to me and say you'll be careful. On a different matter, I've had time to do some thinking. After Aphrodite's party, we never really spoke about the Eidolon and Calliope's memories. No doubt you have many questions.
Apollo told me a little about it. He did say I should talk to you, though.
Did he now? Is there anything you'd like to ask?
¿Cuántas veces moriste? Me sentiré diferente cuando cambie.
When all these memories start to return, will I feel different?
First, you'll have dreams. Places you've never been, people you've never met. But unlike with normal dreams, these will linger. Then they will come while you're awake. Sudden flashes or snippets of déjà vu. And sometimes it will seem so real you'll swear you're hallucinating. If there's anything difficult about the process, is that it becomes hard to differentiate between your life and all these other lives you're now recalling.
It does sound confusing.
Confusing and often unpleasant, as not all the memories will be fond ones. But that will pass in time.
¿Aún recordaré mi propia vida?
You said it becomes hard to differentiate your life from the others. How hard, exactly? It'll still be me, right?
Oh, how do I explain this? Grace, would you say that you are who you are because of your experiences? The things you've lived and done?
I guess so, sure.
Well, all the things Calliope has done, and those before her, will now be yours. They will feel like a part of your life as well. Thus, they can't help but shape you. The Grace that is now will be and will have done so much more. Fortunately, you don't have to deal with every memory. Each time the Eidolon passes on, the oldest memories fade, and that helps.
Vale. ¿Cómo puede ser bueno?
Wait, how is it good that old memories start to fade?
Think of how old we are, Grace. If all those memories returned to you with perfect clarity, they would destroy you.
Yeah, but doesn't that mean you've all forgotten so much?
Well, far more than we remember. The further I think back, the more it becomes a bit of a blur, actually. You'll recall important moments. Some will be mixed up with the stories mortals tell, and you won't be sure which is the memory and which is the story. An idol's memory is a series of islands in a dark ocean, and they become smaller and smaller as they recede into the horizon. It sounds dire, but you become accustomed to it. It just takes time. And now you have all the time in the world.
¿Cuántas veces moriste?
How many times have you died? Can I ask that?
We call it passing on. I've lost track of just how many times I've passed on my eidolon. A dozen? It's happened less often in more recent eras.
And the one you told me about, the woman married to that gangster, she was the most recent?
I don't think of Chastity as a she. That was me, just as the one my husband blasted with a shotgun was also me. It was one of the few times I wasn't able to prepare my successor. We were friends, yes, but I didn't know what Persephone was, and I had no idea what I'd just become.
That must have been difficult.
It was more difficult taking over my dead husband's territory. Women weren't often mobsters in those days.
¿De verdad fuiste gangster?
Were you really a gangster? I've heard it said, but it sounds...
Let me put it this way. I felt as if I'd been blessed by a dying woman who saved me from a prison of my own making. I didn't know what I was, but I was free. I felt more alive than I'd ever felt before, and strong enough to toss an ox 10 feet. Did I set out to become a mobster? Not exactly. My husband's friends thought I'd murdered him, however, so they came after me. And one thing led to another.
Oh, I see.
Athena found me just as my memories were starting to return. I wasn't permitted to continue doing something so noticeable, so I was carted off to Olympus. It's too bad, really. I was an excellent mobster.
Es posible morir para siempre, entiendo que sí.
Wait, you said that Persephone passed on her eidolon as she lay dying. What if she had just died?
The eidolon will keep us alive for a time, even in the most horrific circumstances, in hopes that there's someone to pass it on to.
What if there isn't? What if Chastity had died before you were shot?
Well, then the line of Persephone would have ended then and there. Oh, there are some stories that say an eidolon will go wandering, that it never really dies. And who knows if there's any truth to that. It's not exactly something we've had the opportunity to study. All we know is that many idols have left us forever. They've died, and that's how it happens.
It's a lot to consider. Assuming I'll even have time to worry about it, what with the trial coming.
Either the trial will end poorly, in which case all of this is moot, or it will end well, and you will have plenty of time to digest.
Yeah, thanks for the update.
I'm a realist, Grace. It's what I'm best at. Now then, unless you've something else to ask.
Vale, aquí podemos enterarnos de más lore. Cuéntame de Calíope, cuéntame de Hades. A ver, vamos a...
Are you willing to talk about Hades? If you don't want to, that's fine. I'm just...
Incredibly curious how I ended up murdering my husband?
that, yeah.
You know, one might think that my hatred of Hades began when he kidnapped me and forced me to be his bride. But honestly, that wasn't it. I hated my brothers and sisters for letting it happen. But Hades himself terrified me. He had a presence. I mean, one that forever made him the most important man in the room. And me? Oh, I was nothing in comparison. When Hades began doting on me, trying to earn my favor, I swooned that he might deign to think of me that way. For centuries, I actually thought I was in love, that the kidnapping was the best thing that ever happened to me. It's funny how our perspectives change.
¿Y qué cambió entre Hades y tú?
If you got along with Hades for so long, what changed?
I did. I grew up. I was a trophy for Hades. A conquest that he expected to remain meek and unchanging forever. He went out of his way to keep me small. I slowly realized that, he'd always been that way. Manipulation and arrogance behind the handsome sneer. We battled for centuries. I hated him, and I told him so, but he refused to part with me. He declared that I was his and would stay in the underworld where I belonged.
And that's when you killed him?
That's when I killed him, yes. The first time one idol had ever murdered another. Thank you very much.
Te castigaron por matar a Hades, ¿no?
I'm guessing the other idols weren't thrilled with you killing Hades.
Well, yeah, they didn't know what to do with me. And Athena was furious that the most powerful remaining idol had been lost. See, this was before the war and before all the new rules. The chorus had never once contemplated execution, but they certainly considered it then. In the end, they decided it was better to humiliate me. They ensured I did not benefit from Hades' murder, and stripped the throne I had wrested from his grasp.
Which you weren't happy about.
I asked them where they were all those years while I pleaded for help. I was held captive, and what was I expected to do? What, lie down and take it forever because Hades was more useful to them alive? No. I stopped doing what was expected of me the day I slit his throat. May he rot in Tartarus with the Titans for all eternity.
Ok. ¿Cómo terminaste a cargo de un club nocturno? Bueno,
How did you go from ruling the underworld to opening a nightclub named after it?
I won it in a bet with Dionysus, god of merriment.
Okay, there has to be a story there.
Well, the story is that he was a fool, but a charming one with many patrons. They built him a nightclub as his personal playground. And it was a grand old time for Dionysus in the 1970s, I assure you. But he didn't know how to run a business. By the time disco was ready to die, so was his stupid club. So I offered to make it profitable. If I succeeded, he would turn ownership over to me. He accepted because, frankly, all he wanted to do was drink anyhow. I was successful. The club became mine, and I kicked Dionysus out for never paying his tab.
Sucks to be him.
Dionysus ever sobers up, he might decide to be sore about it, but so far that hasn't happened.
Vale, quiero saber de todo. ¿Qué pasa entre Apolo y tú?
What's the deal between you and Apollo? The way you two fight.
I've told you how he and the other idols stood by and let me rot with Hades, did I not?
It seems more personal than that.
Okay, there's an old saying that no one escapes the underworld. But that's not true. I did. Once. Not long after Hades kidnapped me. I was homesick, and I missed my mother. Charon took pity on me and allowed me across the Styx. And after that, Grace, I waded through darkness itself to get out of there. Hades chased after me relentlessly, but I evaded him, right up until I got to the very slopes of Olympus. And who do you suppose was the first idol I met?
Uh-oh.
Apollo stood there. I cried out to him, begging him not to let Hades take me, and yet Apollo did as he has always done. Absolutely nothing. Hades was thrilled. And I knew then and there I could never rely on my so-called family for anything, ever again.
Movidote. Cuéntame de los ídolos, a ver.
I'd like to know a little more about the idols. I am one now, right?
What constitutes a little more in this instance?
Well, what are we? Where did we come from? If an idol is a soul that moves from person to person, it must have started somewhere, right?
Ah, the big question. To which the answer is, nobody knows. I remember the original Persephone only vaguely. Indeed, I'm not even certain she was the original. Was there something before her? How did she get her idol on? I couldn't tell you. Evidently, we wrote little down in those early days, or were forbidden to, and our memories only stretch back so far. Anything beyond that simply isn't.
¿Cómo puedes no saber de dónde eres?
Psst. Isn't it strange to not know where you come from? For all you know, the idols could be aliens.
Aliens? Grace, you watch too many movies.
Gods are okay, but aliens are just wacky fiction.
Fine, yes. It is strange. No, our earliest days aren't the only blanks in our memories, however. We have many. And the last was the day Zeus called us all together to tell us Rome had fallen and we should prepare for war. But did that war occur? I couldn't tell you. The last thing I remember after Rome was 1,000 years later, in the 16th century. I was in a different body, feeling as if no time at all had passed. Athena calls that period the gap. That's what it feels like. All of us experienced it, and not one of us knows why or how.
¿Eh? Cuéntame más de la brecha.
Gap, you mentioned.
The gap.
What was that like? Did you just wake up one day, or...
I wasn't asleep. I lived. I had lives. I passed on my eidolon. I may have known who I was and what I was, but perhaps I was completely unaware. All I know is that one day, Athena came to my nunnery, near Trieste, I think. The moment that I saw her, all the old memories came flooding back. My life during the gap was wiped away in an instant, and it never returned. If someone did that to us, they were powerful indeed.
What about Athena? I mean, she's the one who found you, right? She must have been aware.
Athena woke up on her own, or so she claims, and spent the next century rounding up those idols who remained. Zeus, however, was gone. What became of him, what happened in Rome, we've never pieced it together. It's troubling.
Cuéntame más de la guerra.
Tell me more about the war. It seems to have had a huge effect on all of you.
That's putting it mildly.
From Aphrodite's song, I know Ares betrayed everyone. What did you do?
Honestly, after my mother was murdered, I barely remember.
Your mother?
Her name was Demeter. Not truly my mother, but an idol who had always cared for me since the early days. I thought we'd be together forever. Then Ares brought those filthy bastards down on us. Demeter was slain by bullets. By bullets. Until that day, I had believed we were untouchable.
Lo siento.
I'm so sorry. That must have been hard to lose her like that.
I watched her fall. Heard her scream. I would have run to her, but I was pulled away to safety. By Hermes, I think. Whatever was left of the old Persephone. The innocent girl with the long hair who loved her gardens. She died with Demeter that day. After that, I don't know. We went from hiding place to hiding place. I didn't even know what Hephaestus had done for us when I found myself on a boat. We might have been gods once, but after the war, we were just refugees, like so many others, fleeing to a distant land.
Fue difícil venir al nuevo mundo.
Was it hard for the idols to come to the new world? It's just a place like any other, isn't it?
Well, it wasn't the place that was hard, it was the fear. We knew we were vulnerable. We knew mortals could and would kill us. Suddenly, there were rules. We had to be secret. We had to stay close together. We huddled in the shadows and quaked each time the mortals so much as breathed in our direction. We couldn't all live that way. Some of us drifted away, faded into the night without so much as an explanation. That's what's been the hard part. Our inevitable decline in a place where we don't belong. We can pass on our eidolons as often as we like, but it will never truly be home.
Venga, pues, cuéntame más de
Tell me more
Calliope.
about Calliope. You and her were good friends, right?
We were.
And?
And if you had told me a decade ago that I would become close to one of the muses, I would have laughed in your face. I always considered them Apollo's creatures. Calliope, Cleo, and Talia. Vapid, frivolous gods who handed off their eidolon to any artist who took their fancy. Every time I met one of them, they were someone else. Apollo called them the Sisters of Beauty, no matter their gender. Can you imagine that? That's such a stupid name.
I never thought of that. Do idols change gender a lot?
Well, we tend to seek out successors like ourselves, but it happens. With the muses, it happened frequently. Everywhere Apollo went, they surrounded him like a gaggle of ducklings, just like him to gather his own fans.
Vale. ¿Y
If you
cómo?
disliked the muses so much, how did you end up becoming friends with Calliope?
Eso es.
She sought me out. She'd become more and more unhappy on Olympus, so she decided to leave just as I had, long before. Calliope asked for my help, and I laughed in her face. Go ask one of your sycophant mortals, I told her. I mean, surely one of them has some threadbare couch you can sleep on.
Wow.
Typically, she was undeterred. She didn't just want a place to stay. She said she wanted to learn how to be truly independent from an idol who had mastered it. What can I say? I mean, I am a sucker for a well-timed compliment. I took her in. Apollo was furious. He and Calliope were barely speaking, but he was certain she'd come crawling back to Olympus. Oh, it made taking her in all the sweeter.
¿Tú y Calliope se hicieron amigas cuando le diste donde
After you
vivís?
took Calliope in, that's when you became friends?
Well, no, not right away. I wasn't looking for a friend. What I was looking for was an opening act in the club. Calliope entertained here for years, and then eventually turned from performing to attracting new acts. She was in her element. She and I, we warmed up to each other eventually. She was more capable than I expected, and I adored her furious rants.
Calliope didn't seem like the furious type when I met her. It's hard to picture.
Oh, then you didn't really meet her. She was an idealist, and nobody could ever quite live up to her standards for very long. Her brothers and sisters, least of all. The idols needed to change, she said. They were withering away in the shadows, diminished and unwilling to save their own skins. When I joined the chorus, she expected me to change everything, as if I could single-handedly override Athena. I was to be her champion, and together we would bring revolution to the idols. Well, I was yet another disappointment. She left the club, but I gave her a place to live. We were supposed to stay in touch, but you know how it went from there.
¿Qué sucedió con las otras musas? Buena
What
pregunta.
happened to the other muses? You mentioned 2 others. Were they lost in the war?
One of them was, though not like you think. The day we were to leave on the ship, Talia simply never showed up.
Do you know what happened to her?
We never heard from her again. Apollo thrashed about in mourning, but Talia had been fading away for years. It wasn't a surprise to the rest of us.
What about the other muse? Cleo.
Died long before. A victim at the hands of a mortal man, when she no longer possessed the power to bedazzle him. As I understand it, he kept her in a cage as a pet until her eidolon shriveled up and perished. He was dead before she was.
Ugh, that's pretty dark.
Yes, well, we come by our wariness of mortals honestly, Grace.
That's all I can think of for now. I'll see you around?
Oh, yes. That's where I'll be. Around.
Vale. O sea, ha habido actualizaciones en el diario, pero quiero ir de cabeza a ver qué pasa con Medusa.
This must be the Viper's nest. Scariest part of town, no sign. Just that one dude glaring at everyone. Well, I'm here now. Just another day in the life of an idol.
There you are. Man, this place is the worst. I think someone peed on me.
Freddy? What are you doing here?
What, you thought I wouldn't notice you skulking off? You didn't even bring any equipment, Grace?
Te adoro.
Freddy, please tell me you don't think you're some kind of adventurer.
I'm sorry. Are you not about to head into a monster's lair at great personal peril? What else would you call that?
You're such a dork. I adore you.
Good, because I'm not about to let you wander in there without backup. Who knows? Maybe the stuff I know about Medusa might actually apply. Well, that'd be a switch.
Vale. Can she really turn people into stone? ¿Puede realmente volver a la gente en piedra?
Do you think she actually turns people to stone?
Let's hope not, or this could be a short visit. Or a really, really long one.
I'm serious.
Perseus used a mirror to reflect Medusa's gaze back at her. Oh, maybe you could use your phone.
You think that would work?
Unless you brought a mirror, Grace, it's all you got.
Vale, dime lo que sabes.
Okay, I'll bite. What do you know about Medusa?
Well, you know she was human once, right? And she was cursed.
Apollo mentioned it, yeah.
Cursed by Athena. Or so one of the stories goes, anyway.
But doesn't she work for Athena?
Hey, don't look at me. My knowledge of this stuff stops at a few thousand years ago.
Eso es un monstruo, ¿no?
She was once human, but she's definitely a monster, right?
Yeah, one of the worst. But, you know, so was the Minotaur.
Asterion said she was scary. I have a feeling she's not like him.
Ya.
Then I guess you need to be prepared for the possibility that she is as bad as the legends say. Though some of the stories also say that she was wronged by Athena and that what was done to her was an injustice.
And Athena just follows the rules, right?
Hagámoslo.
Okay, enough talking. Time to do this.
You have a plan for how we're getting inside, I hope?
Maybe. You're here to help?
Always.
Then I have a plan.
Ostras, tengo que elegir. Enfrentar al guardia. Usar una distracción. Buscar otra entrada. Enfrentar al guardia. Una distracción. A ver qué pasa.
Hi, this is where the comic convention is, right? I hope I'm not too late for the signing.
Ma'am, I'm afraid you had the wrong address.
What? No. Oh, God. No. No, that can't be right. Do you understand the indignities that I have endured? The weird looks, the body odors? Someone spilled coffee all over my cosplay outfit. No, do not tell me that I got it
just
wrong.
keep them
I spent
busy while I
$50
look
on this
around.
ticket. I demand my personal photo.
Vale, pero entonces entramos sin Freddy. No me digas que empieza una canción directamente.
What a long day, hiding in the light. Such a long day, dreaming of tonight. This sacred bite. Hello, who's that there? You've messed up my flow. Just get your drink, girl, and take your seat. Oh, it's the muse. There are sacred bites, and then there's this sacred bite. So wrong, so right. I'm really gonna hate myself
No quieres pelear conmigo.
tonight.
Medusa, listen, stop, I'm warning you. This is something you don't want to do.
Tell more about me. Look at you. A prime sashimi with opinions too.
Medusa, listen, I'm warning you.
Yes, keep on warning
There's no
me.
rewinding, it's something you can't undo. Can't undo.
It's kind of the point, lovely. Now look into me. Your body goes freely every time I see its tendons.
Echar contra paréntesis, ¿qué me pasa? No lo hagas. No lo hagas.
I see tendons. Can you say that once again? I missed it. You really want to sing, but your silly mouth won't do a thing. It's meant to work that way. I call it the preparation. Yes, I could make you strong, but then my dinner.
No valgo la molestia.
That's why I've got this other way.
Mejor seamos amigas.
Look into me. Oh, she's looking away. Hey, look into
Medusa.
me.
Saw hunger with no end. You lost Medusa. Unless you find a friend.
What I should
Can be
Atenea tiene que saberlo.
forget me, but don't look.
Atenea te hizo esto.
Athena made you like this.
She was mad at me, so
Well, why was she mad?
she said I'd been bad.
Had you been?
No. Now
Las tres refranes.
look into
Creo que sé por qué eres así. No la voy a hacer de piedra.
Listen, Medusa, please. Athena hides you, she's ashamed of you. But she profits all the same from you. If she'd done that to me, I'd be like you.
you could never.
If I'd been damaged in a way that you can't undo.
You're not a killer.
I know. Wait. So you know that it's true that I didn't do it.
No.
Yes, you do know. You know. Does that mean Athena knows?
Persephone podría ayudarte.
Okay.
Hora de pelear. Tenemos
It's
mucho.
dinner time now. You're not gonna look.
Me cago en 10 que le digo, hora de pelear. No, tenemos mucho en común. Empatía a tope.
Just like fate made you, fate played me. Just like fate won't see what your eyes see when you look at me. Don't look at me.
You think that will hurt me, child? You have not done your homework.
Oh, sorry, just trying to get your attention. Yeah, I've been watching, and I'm willing to bet you can't turn me to stone before I burn your snakes off.
Está bien, Freddy, que alivio. Cuidado, Freddy. Está bien.
Stand down, Freddy. Let's give Medusa some space.
Yeah, okay. I'm watching her, though.
You ready to talk?
Oh, fine. Fine. What exactly is it that you want, pretty muse?
¿Qué hacías en el relicario? ¿Intentaste comerte a Calliope también? ¿No lo sabes?
You can start by telling me whether you tried to eat Calliope like you just tried to eat me.
Blast! This is why I didn't tell Lady Athena. I knew it would come back to haunt me. I only followed pretty Calliope to the reliquary. I never spoke to her, never even caught up to her. I swear it.
That's what Asterion told us, more or less.
But you were there that night.
Yes, I admit it. Ugh, Lady Athena will have my head. She'll mount it on a pike. Whatever you might think of me, I had no part in the Muse's death. I did not even know she'd been attacked until I saw her fleeing.
Vale. Asterion dijo que se reunieron. No le contaste a Atena. ¿Por qué seguías a Calliope? ¡Muchas cosas! ¿Por qué deberíamos creerte? Asterion dijo que se reunieron.
Asterion said he caught up with you out in the fog. Is that right?
I thought he was the one who had attacked her. He is a great beast of a creature.
He killed Hecate's cat by accident. But this still seems hard to believe.
Yes, I only realized my mistake once I caught up to him, and by then the Muse was gone.
And you never found her afterwards?
I thought she might flee to her pretty home, or to the sharp and prickly Persephone. She did neither.
Yeah, she came to see me.
Vale, ¿por qué seguías a Calliope?
You followed Calliope to the reliquary. Why were you shadowing her at all?
I am Lady Athena's spy master, yes. Calliope has been trouble from time to time.
So you were spying on her.
I keep watch over every idol who no longer lives in Olympus, but especially Calliope. When I realized she was headed to the reliquary that eve, I followed. I had a duty to Athena.
¿Supiste que hacía Calliope allí?
Did you ever find out why Calliope went there?
I was never close enough to ask. When I drew near to the reliquary, that is when I saw the Muse fleeing. She was frightened, blooded, dying.
Let me guess, that made you hungry.
I gave chase, yes, but to discover the truth. I knew Lady Athena would wish to know.
That does make sense from your perspective.
I didn't learn the truth until later. And then it was far too late.
¿Por qué debíamos creerte? ¿No le contaste a Atena?
You haven't told Athena any of this?
Do I need to light things up again? 'Cause I'll do it.
I told her Calliope was at the reliquary that night. I did not tell her I was also there.
Why not? Wouldn't Athena find out from Hecate anyway?
I was not thinking clearly. I panicked. Lady Athena barely tolerates my presence as it is. If she thought I was involved in any way, if she even suspected.
Bueno, ¿por qué debíamos creerte?
Why should we believe you? You did just try to eat me, remember?
I am telling you the truth.
Right, and not at all trying to cover your own ass.
You presented an opportunity. To taste the sweet, sweet blood of a hero once again. It's a problem. I've been working on it, I really have.
Uh-huh.
Well, what of Pan? The only reason I knew Calliope was going to the reliquary is because he informed me.
So much for never lying to me.
What were the odds, honestly?
Let's put a pin in that for the moment, shall we?
I am a monster. It's true, I do not deny it. It's still, I did not kill the Muse.
Ya hice suficientes preguntas.
Okay, let's say we believe you. For the moment.
Whatever you do, pretty Muse, I beg you. Do not tell Athena of my indiscretion. Show mercy. I know what I am horrifies you. It horrifies me as well. I cannot help what I am. I did not ask to be cursed like this.
Ya habías hecho esto antes, lo pensaré.
Mercy? You mean like the mercy you were gonna show me?
I am a lost and cursed thing. No idol. And if Lady Athena should learn the truth, I hope you find what you seek, pretty Muse. And that we meet again someday. And sing a different song.
Pues esto no me avanza mucho, la verdad. Logro...
He knew. Right from the start, Pan knew Calliope was there that night.
Yeah, and who could have foreseen that he was lying to you the entire time? Who, I ask you, a mystery even the Oracle couldn't have penetrated.
Está bien, tenías razón. Pan aún podría ser inocente.
There could be a good explanation.
Oh, Grace, just so sweet, so willing to see the best in everyone. Anyhow, you probably have a few questions for Mr. Goatman. I'll see you at home.
Señor cabrón. Vale. Yo romanceo.
Would you really have tried to burn Medusa's face off? With an aerosol can?
Hell yeah, one hint of googly eyes and...
What would I do without you?
You'll never need to answer that question, Grace.
Vale, ¿a dónde vamos? Ah, directamente a por Pan. Me parece bien.
Oh, if it isn't, the lovely Grace?
You knew. Right from the start, you knew Calliope was there that night.
Well, yes. She asked for the key and I gave it to her, no questions asked. I told you I didn't know what happened to Calliope, and that's the truth. I did not. So I nudged you in the right direction.
Vale, mentiste al respecto. ¿Qué es lo que no me dices? ¿Por qué lo hiciste?
Why? Is there some reason you need to know what happened to Calliope?
Is that so strange? Don't we all desire justice?
You sent me to the reliquary because you wanted justice.
Medusa learned that Calliope was going to the reliquary because I told her. Now, before you say anything, I had no idea of the fate awaiting our dear muse. And you yourself said Medusa was not responsible. I simply had to know if I'd inadvertently, rather innocently...
La entregaste.
Sold her out? She came to you for help, and you gave her whereabouts to the highest bidder.
I am trying to help, Grace. In my way.
What do you mean, in my way? What way is that?
The way where I don't take all the blame.
What else will I discover, Pan? I'd rather learn it now than later.
I wish I could tell you, Grace. I truly do.
Vale. Vamos otra vez con Perséfone.
Back again so soon, Grace? You're practically a regular at the club. Did you end up finding Medusa? Or did she vanish the moment you came near, like she does with every other idol?
She definitely did not vanish. Maybe I better explain what happened.
Un día negro, te lo he
I
explicado.
knew it. We never should have brought that monster to the New World. Athena's a fool to think Medusa can be controlled. You're fortunate to have made it out in one piece. It could have gone very poorly for you.
Ojalá hubieras estado allí. Pero no fue así, tenía que hacerlo. Me da la opción de romancear.
You're right.
Venga, va.
I should have brought you to protect little old defenseless me.
Ah. If I'd gone, you would have found nothing more than an empty building, I assure you.
Because you're so big and scary.
I'm glad you appreciate my finer qualities.
At any rate, Medusa might be in the clear. Pan, however, is not.
I don't imagine you've confronted him yet.
He admitted to selling out Calliope, but not to killing her. I don't know if I can believe him.
Nor I. Pan would do anything to save his own skin. Allow me some time to consider our next move. Now then, unless you've something else to ask?
No, not really. I'll see you later, Persephone.
Vale. No me funciona el mando otra vez. El control por mando está un poco regular, la verdad. Departamento de Gris, pues. No. Pues ir. A ver si ahora me funciona. Hermes.
Hi, Grace. I can just call you Grace, right?
That's my name. Where's Freddie?
She went out to get snacks. We were gonna watch TV while we waited, but, well, here you are.
¿Me buscabas? ¿Conoces a Freddy?
What, you and Freddie are friends now? When did this happen?
When I came looking for you. Friday has this movie that I've never seen. Super cool, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh, would you rather not share your mortal friends? Anyway, I guess Athena wants to talk? I can zip us over to Olympus anytime, if you're free.
¿Tiene otra opción?
Do I have a choice about seeing Athena? I'm not in the habit of being at anyone's beck and call.
I mean, I guess you could say no, but I wouldn't. If Athena wants something, she's gonna get it eventually.
Okay.
She had that look in her eyes, like she really wants to talk to you.
She could always come here. Everyone else does.
Athena entered the mortal world? And now she doesn't do that ever. Can you imagine?
Atenea nunca... O sea, Atenea nunca sale del Olimpo.
How does Athena manage never entering the mortal world?
She doesn't have to, I guess. Everyone brings her everything she needs. And that creepy owl of hers? Apollo says it's her eyes out in the world. It's everywhere. Watching.
So what, she just never leaves the building?
She'll go to the reliquary and places like that. Just never where mortals are. She wears a toga and calls cars iron horses.
Comprendo.
So this is what you do? Ferry people around?
I'm the god of messengers, baby. Travelers, doorways, any kind of transition, really. The old Hermes said that the transition part made even more sense for me, which, you know, extra cool, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I can connect any two doorways anywhere, just like that.
SNB, ¿no,
So it's
Hermes?
super easy to take people wherever. I don't mind.
Sí, por eso han hecho el chiste de la transición y además cuando ha dicho soy el diose, han puesto la E en el texto escrito, lo cual reafirma mi teoría de que realmente este juego ha sido traducido por una persona que ha tenido en cuenta las marcas de género y demás, que un traductor automático no tendría. Y se han dejado cosas un poco mal hechas por falta de tiempo o yo qué sé. Pero bueno, a ver si lo pueden solucionar con un parche. Vale. Por cierto, la persona que le pone voz a Hermes es una persona no binaria también. Y está fatal de la cabeza. Me cae súper bien. O sea, meterse a su Instagram es una locura. ¿Conociste a Hermes, al Hermes anterior?
You mentioned the
Interesante.
old Hermes a lot. You knew him?
Yeah, I was homeless for a while. It wasn't a great time, and he took me in. Everyone's on the same journey, he used to say. Only the roads are different. And then he went on his journey. Man, I still miss him every day.
Wait, isn't he still inside you? Aren't you kind of the same person now?
Not yet. It's only been a year. Maybe I'll feel him again one day. That'd be nice.
¿Te gusta hacer mandados?
You say it's easy, but do you like doing all these errands?
Huh. Yeah, I never thought about it. It's nice to have a purpose. Athena is super sweet, and she has a big, important job. Why wouldn't I want to help her out?
You can't be this nice. Are you for real?
Oh, well, the old Hermes used to say that a willingness to serve is more important than a willingness to be served.
Ok.
I suppose there's no point in putting it off. Do your thing. Take me to Olympus.
Okay. Oh, when you see Freddie, tell her I'm sorry I couldn't stick around for the movie. And mind if I say something?
Sure.
You've changed. I mean, from the person I met when I first came here. When, you know, you got it together really quick.
thanks, I guess.
Hermes es un amor de personaje, ¿eh? Elige tu atributo. ¡Uno más! O sea, desbloqueamos... O sea, encantadora ya lo tengo. No me dejan seleccionarlo y ahora tiene que ser o imparable. Ahí tienes. Esta Grace es muy punk y no tiene miedo a ser atrevida y agresiva cuando hace falta. O astuta. A veces tienes que pensar para resolver un problema, ¿no? Esta Grace es más mañosa, inteligente y astuta. Sí. Creo que voy a intentar ir por lo inteligente y no por... Es que además, habiendo jugado de encantadora todo el juego hasta ahora, de repente revelarnos, me pide más la Grace que estoy llevando que ponerle también esto. Y que ahora que ha estado investigando y sabe más de todo el lore de los ídolos y de la historia y todos los personajes y tal, pues como que ha desarrollado el sentido detectivesco y sea más astuta. Tiene sentido.
There you are, Grace. Do have a seat.
Por cierto, me extraña que esto siga siendo el acto 2. Pero bueno, vamos a continuar. Quería ver si lo ponía de alguna forma.
I prefer to stand, thanks.
As you like. You've certainly been busy, haven't you? Everywhere I turn, there you are. Including the reliquary.
Oh.
I'm uncertain how you got access, but even you must have realized it's off limits. Particularly for your mortal friend.
Tenemos que demostrar que soy inocente. ¿Estás molesta? Vale, estás molesta. ¿Sabes lo que pasó ahí?
But you know what happened there. That's where Calliope was attacked.
Yet it's not where she died, Grace, is it?
So because she made it all the way to my apartment, we shouldn't care why she was bleeding to death along the way.
You think our judgment was rash? It was. In truth, I worried that giving you time, letting us all get to know you, would make it harder in the end. I am sorry, Grace. You may not believe it, but I care deeply. I care about what happens to you and to all the idols.
¿Y a dónde nos llevó eso? ¿También te importa Medusa? Oh, no importa nada. ¿También te importa Medusa? Entonces haz algo. ¿Y a dónde nos llevó eso? Voy a intentar ser empática, ya que me dan la opción.
Do you really? Let's explore where all that caring has gotten them, shall we? You're holding on with a grip so tight, your knuckles are turning white. But that's not enough, is it? Every idol I've met is either lost or broken, or both. They're all slipping through your fingers. If you actually cared about them, you'd do something about it instead of sitting up here worrying about your precious rules.
Zeus was the first to leave. King of the gods. And we don't even know what became of him. Vanished into the ether. Poseidon was next. Walked out into the seas, never to be heard from again. Ares betrayed us. Hephaestus saved us. Hades was murdered. And by one of our own. The list goes on.
Y tú la haces más larga. ¿Por qué me cuentas esto? Es terrible.
All of that sounds terrible. But I don't understand what...
We are dying, Grace. I don't mean diminishing or drifting apart. I mean our immortality is disappearing. Very soon now, the idols will be no more. We are a legacy that spans millennia, dating back to the very dawn of humankind. So yes, I care. I will do anything and everything in my power to avoid that fate, even if it appears unfair.
Podría haberte ayudado. Nueva habilidad desbloqueada. Vamos a usarla.
You know, it's too bad.
Nuevo atributo.
I've been an idol for 5 minutes, and I've been out there solving problems you've all wrestled with for how long now? I could have helped you, Athena. I could have helped all of you. But you don't see that, do you? You're so busy holding on to what you have. You can't see what you're throwing away.
I know we've put a great deal on your shoulders, Grace. I do. All I called you here to ask is that you please not make my job more difficult than it already is. If you have any other questions or concerns, now's the time to bring them up.
Hablemos de Medusa. Cuéntame de Pan. ¿Quién tiene acceso al relicario? Lo quiero saber todo. Vale, ¿por dónde empezamos? Medusa.
All right, let's talk about Medusa.
Met her, have you?
Trato de comerme. ¿Puedes quitar la maldición? ¿Por qué trabaja para ti?
I just have to know why. Of all the people you could have working for you, why her?
We could have left her behind. I elected to bring her because, in the end, she is my responsibility. But Medusa didn't want charity. She volunteered to work in my service. It's trying at times. Now, if there isn't anything else...
Pan.
What do you know of Pan?
Pan? That's not a name I expected to hear. Been sniffing around you, has he?
I have some suspicions, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
Pan lurks at the edges because he likes it there, seeking out whatever profit he thinks he can get away with. Avoid him, dear, or he'll stick to you like gum to the bottom of your shoe.
Pan es un asesino directo. O sea, pas.
Okay, so you don't like Pan much. I get that. But do you think he could kill someone?
We've all killed, my dear. I was once a warrior queen, feared by mortals and gods alike.
Another idol, I mean.
Is that where your investigation has led you? To Pan?
Se me escapa algo.
Sort of. But I feel like I'm missing something important. Maybe the goddess of wisdom could help me out?
It would be helpful to know what Calliope was doing at the reliquary, but she's not available to ask. Not until you regain her memories, at least.
Why not put off the trial until then? Seems like a good way to solve all this. Yeah?
And trust what you decide to share? I think not.
Ah, claro, se piensa que puedo mentir, ¿no? ¿Quién tiene acceso al relicario?
Who has access to the reliquary? Is it anyone with a key, or...
Does it matter? You gained access, so clearly it is not difficult to get. Speaking of which, I don't suppose you'll tell me who gave you that key.
Pero no, no te lo diré. Igual que Calliope. Fue Pan.
The same person gave it to me, who gave it to Calliope.
And who gave it to Calliope, then? I see.
Fuiste al relicario, ¿verdad?
Speaking of the reliquary, you went there, right? Once Hecate told you what happened?
Yeah, I was not impressed by the delay.
If you had known about that, the night Calliope died, would it have made a difference?
The chances are exceedingly small that you attacked her there, it's true. Yet, Calliope was weakened, which made her more vulnerable prey for an enterprising mortal. One she knew. Perhaps the incidents are connected, perhaps not. I cannot afford the risk of uncertainty, Grace. I'm sorry.
Me voy.
I guess I'll get back to my investigation.
I am rooting for you, Grace. If there's another way to resolve this, any way at all, I will take it.
Will you? Really?
Good luck. Feel free to take a cookie on your way out.
Don't take it personally, Grace. Athena's first instinct is to follow the rules whenever things get rough. As if she believes that if the idols don't blindly follow every rule to the letter, we'll dissolve into utter chaos.
Well, is she right?
Probably.
¿De verdad están muriendo los ídolos? No necesito que me des un sermón. Hace lo mejor que puede. De
Do
verdad.
you think she's telling the truth about the idols dying out?
I'm not sure. If it is true, why hasn't she told the rest of the chorus?
It sounds like she doesn't trust you.
Well, the feeling is mutual. At any rate, I'm afraid we're going to have to disappoint her again.
Okay.
Uh-oh. What now?
You need to go back to the reliquary, Grace.
Creo que sé por qué.
You know, Athena said something to me. That it'd be nice to know what Calliope was doing there in the first place.
And she's correct.
It's the only piece of the puzzle we're missing. Calliope went there because she had a plan. But what plan?
If she left clues behind, wouldn't Hecate have found them already?
That's a really good question.
We can't ask Calliope what her plan was. But you might be able to remember what she was doing there.
Her memories? But I thought...
That it will take years, yes. But if you go somewhere important to Calliope, or touch something special to her, you'll get flashes, feelings.
Do you want Grace to go to the reliquary so she can have deja vu?
I'm willing to wager the place Calliope met her fate has left its mark in Grace's psyche. We have only to uncover it.
¿Cómo entraremos? ¿Crees que funcionará? ¿Cómo entraremos?
Last time Freddie and I were there, Hecate wouldn't let us into the reliquary. Not without Athena's permission.
I'm certainly not suggesting we ask Athena for permission.
Then you mean...
A week ago, I would have said breaking into the reliquary was impossible. Yet it appears Hecate can be surprised. If her book says she will be.
Let's hope the book says that again, I guess.
Unless you've some other plan. I'm all ears, as they say.
El relicario tiene alarmas. Eso es importante.
What about the alarms? I'm not eager to have Asterion chasing me through the fog.
Calliope snuck in without setting off any alarms. At least at first.
Well, I'll be following in Calliope's footsteps, won't I? What if I follow the wrong footstep and set them off?
Then they discover you and we apologize profusely.
Will not be a good look, though, just saying.
¿Crees que funcionará?
Are you sure about this? You want me to wander around hoping something comes to me?
I do know something about how memories work after the transition, but no, I'm not certain. You want certainty? Wait until your trial. Without discovering more, the outcome of that is certain.
What if Medusa is lying? What about Pan? We could look into him some more, couldn't we?
Oh, my, you're just full of ideas, aren't you? Do you have any suggestions regarding how we might go about doing that?
Deja vu it is.
¿Hay otra manera?
Is there really no other way? This seems a bit desperate.
That's because we are desperate, Grace. Either we take this shot at learning the truth, or we overthrow Athena and the chorus by force, and disregard this stupid trial.
She's joking, right? She's joking, right?
Let's say
Golpe de
I do
estado.
this. What am I hoping to find?
Some memory of who attacked Calliope, or why she was there. Anything we could work with. I've spoken to almost all the idols, and every single one says they hadn't seen or heard from her. If she was keeping to herself, then why now? What started this? We're missing something important, Grace.
What if Grace goes there and the memory she sees is that she attacked Calliope? A Grace from the future. It'd be a twist.
Right then. Back to the reliquary it is.
Any idea how you want to do this, Grace? Because I'm game to help.
Cool. I'm sure we can figure something out.
I can't go in with you. Hecate would sense me right away. I will, however, stay close by. Now that doesn't mean you should take stupid risks. Don't be a fool, Grace.
Vale, muy tarde. Estaré bien. Tengo que arriesgarme.
Why not? My life's on the line either way.
Come on, the time for adventure is now.
Ah, this will not end well. I know it.
Freddy distrae a Hécate, decirle la verdad a Hécate, pero estamos ya en el tercer acto o no. ¿Puedo ir al menú principal? Desde aquí no. Freddy distrae a Hécate, escabullirse por la puerta de atrás o decirle la verdad a Hécate. ¿Y si vamos de frente? Vamos a ir de frente a ver qué pasa. Tira. ¿Qué más da?
Ah, so that is now.
Oh, you were expecting us?
It is written that you would come, yes.
That is so cool. I kid you not.
Yet it was also written that you would sneak into the reliquary as Calliope did, so this encounter is unanticipated.
¿El libro se equivocó de nuevo? No quería entrar así.
This book of yours really isn't as accurate as you make it out to be.
The course it lays out is almost always correct. The smaller things, they are subject to free will and frequently change. However, even without the book, I do understand why you've come. Is there a reason why you believe my answer will be different now?
Tiene que ver con Atenea. ¿Me debes una? Voy a utilizar la
The
habilidad.
only reason you won't let me in is because Athena forbids it, right?
She is the one to whom I made my promise, yes.
What if I said that she's a suspect in Calliope's death?
Is she a suspect?
She's an idol. I don't know that she's not a suspect. Yet. Without more evidence, isn't her command potentially self-serving?
You will regret this. That is also written.
That is a yes.
Go quickly. Look, but do not touch. The reliquary stores many artifacts, some dangerous.
Got it.
Ostras, vale.
Okay, Grace. What the heck do you do now? Of all the times to not have Freddy around, she'd love this. First things first, how do I do this? Where do I even start?
¿Puedo ir un momento al menú principal? Seguimos en el acto 2. Vale, continuar, pues. Perdón.
Of all the times to not have Freddy around, she'd love this.
Es que me extraña que esté durando tanto este tramo del acto 2.
How do I do this? Where do I even start?
Estaré hasta que termine el acto, ¿eh? Cuando ponga acto 3, ahí
Calliope must
paramos.
have been here. She could have stood in this very spot. Maybe if I just focus. Yeah, it's weird. Like, I've definitely been here before.
A ver. Mirar el huevo, el instrumento. Máscara, tridente, manzana, rama, pergamino, estatua. Vamos a ir a por lo obvio. El instrumento.
Is that a weapon? A musical instrument? Maybe it's both.
Vale. El huevo no creo, ¿no? ¿Qué pone en el pergamino?
I don't even know what language that is.
¿La máscara? ¿Que es de teatro? ¿O qué?
What did Freddy say about mazes? Was it always go left? Or go left and then go right?
Vale. La máscara le hace distraerse, ¿no? Perderse. El espejo no se puede mirar por alguna razón. La manzana.
Freddy, are you out there? Can you hear me? What am I doing? All that'll do is tell everyone where I am.
Tridente.
Is this an armory, too?
A huevo.
I don't get any feeling from that. Will I know it when I see it?
Espejo. Ah, mira, porque no podía mirar el espejo. Está diciendo y lo tenía ahí. No lo he visto. Vale, espejo.
This is it. Calliope was here. She was standing right here. And she...
Las moirás.
Uh-oh.
Retroceder. Hola.
Hello. Do you work for Hecate? Are you guardians or something?
Las moiras. Parecen Astanshu.
Okay, then.
No, no las podemos hacer cantar.
What's happening? Why didn't it work?
Fuck.
Oh! Grace? Freddy! We've got to run! My powers don't work on them, they just keep coming!
¿Qué?
No, I won't let you!
No.
Freddy!
¿Cómo?
Oh god. Oh god, Freddy! By the gods.
You summoned the Furies.
Las furias.
What?
Those beings were the Furies, beyond all our laws. Not idols, but the embodiment of retribution. How did you draw them here?
I didn't. There was a big mirror, but I didn't even touch it.
There is only one mirror of which you could be speaking. That used by the goddess Nyx to contact the Fates. Using the mirror would not have brought the Furies down upon you. Not unless the Fates themselves decreed it.
Morir las furias, tienes que ayudar a Freddy.
I don't care what brought them. They killed Freddy. You need to help her.
I have no power over life and death, Grace. None of us have that. This was no defense or spell of the reliquaries. I do not have the power to summon the Furies, and I know none who do. You should consider yourself fortunate, Grace. They do not desist until retribution has been exacted. But now is when you leave. Pray the knowledge you obtained was worth the price.
¿Cómo puedes decir eso? Ayúdame, Perséfone. No mires sin Freddy.
I'm not leaving Freddy. Not like this. All this magic. There has to be something. Don't tell me there's no way to undo this.
Come. There's nothing more to be done.
Me jodas. Día 6. Seguimos en el acto 2, ¿vale? Seguimos en el acto 2. Mirad la cara de Grace. Vamos al departamento. Muy gratuito, ¿no? O sea... Acto 3. Vale. ¿Cuánto...? Vale. Menú principal. Ahora sí. Entonces, Calíope estaba buscando a las Moiras, pero las Moiras mandaron a las Furias y eso fue lo que la mató. ¿Por qué buscaba a las Moiras? No sabemos. El tema es... Puedo entender que igual el castigo que era para Calíope, como yo ahora soy Calíope por el Eidolon, me lo ha pasado a mí, ¿no? Entonces, pues lo han hecho pinchito a Freddy. O sea, porque no han podido... O sea, las Furias igual tenían que matar a Calíope, pero como Calíope ha sobrevivido pasando del Eidolon, pues han... Bueno, han matado a Freddy porque se ha puesto en medio, vaya. Me podrían haber matado a mí... En fin. No pensaba, o sea, tras lo de Afrodita... Joder, no pensaba que iban a ir tan a saco con esto, ¿eh? Me duele a término personal, ¿eh? Cago en 10. Bueno, en fin. Son las 12 menos 20. Yo mañana madrugo. Gracias por haberse pasado. Tanto aquí como en YouTube. O sea, tanto aquí en Twitch como en YouTube. Cuando veis esto subido allí. No voy a hacer directo hasta que no me pueda asegurar que tengo mínimo 2 horas seguidas para poder hacer el acto 3 del tirón. ¿Vale? Entonces, si mañana es posible por la tarde ponerme pronto a jugar, pues lo haré. Si no, me esperaré a pasado o ya el fin de semana. Bueno, mañana miércoles, jueves, viernes, aún hay días, pero si veo que estas tardes no saco tiempo, ya me pondré el fin de semana y vamos a hacer lo que quede de juego del tirón. Necesito saber qué va a pasar. En fin, o sea, me gusta el juego, pero me jode que me hagan estas cosas. Ay. Tiene que haber alguna forma de salvarla. O sea, es un pinchito sin más, ¿vale? Ha sangrado un poco, pero no me jodas. En fin. Vamos parando por aquí. Lo dicho. Gracias. Cuídense. Chao.